Hey everyone, hope all of you are having a great day. It's been a long day for me. So hopefully your Wednesday was a lot better than mine. But other than that, I was originally going to talk about the Epstein files and how it's splitting MAGA apart. But I thought that this would probably be more important because it looks like the Virginia Democrats are going to win this upcoming governor's race and all the other down ballot races in the landslide. I mean, Abigail Spanberger. I mean, okay, she is a bit centrist from my perspective, but but the thing is, she's winning this race because her opponent is absent and her campaign is just non-existent, just flat out sucks. I mean, look, so Abigail Spanberger has everything going. Trump is unpopular, the federal job cuts, and people are very pessimistic um, of the future in Virginia, especially when it comes to cost of living. And Winsome Sears, I don't know what she stands for. I mean, listen, I don't agree with anything with the Republicans, but I sure as hell don't know what Winsome Sears stands for. So if somebody can tell me, if somebody knows, they can leave a comment. But you know what? I mean, this race. I mean, the thing is that the polls can change. Like it could tighten up, which the Sears campaign is going to need a big overhaul, or Spamberger somehow messes up, which I can kind of highly doubt that, or or Abigail Spamberger can increase her lead even further. So originally, we predict, like a lot of us, including myself, are predicting that this was going to be 5 or 10 points. But when the federal job cuts came in, and especially the big beautiful bill, well, more like the big POS bill, like to call it, because it is a giant POS, um, and how it's going to hammer rural hospitals, especially rural America, including in Virginia, because there's like what 5 hospitals in danger. Yeah, yeah. So I can see that momentum will shift towards Spamberger, and it could be she could end up winning this race by 15 to 20 points, because it's July now. We still got like less than 5 months to. I mean, less than 4 months to go. So anything can happen. So let's look at this poll. This is from a reputable poll from VCU um, because 4 years ago they predicted McAuliffe was winning by 1.8% against Glenn Youngkin, but Glenn Youngkin ended up winning by 2 percentage points. So they were kind of like within the margin of error. This is outside the margin of error. So as you can see, the headline: Spamberger in the lead by 12 points. Ghazal Hashmi, who is the Republican, I mean the Democratic nominee for lieutenant governor, is over. Um, forgot his name. Uh, John Reed. Yeah, John Reed, who was a very controversial candidate for the Republican side because uh, mainly because some of the religious faction of more of the more religious members of the Republican Party, they didn't like the idea that John Reed was gay, and that caused some controversy. They were asking him to drop out and all, and Winsome Sears did not want to be uh, did not want to campaign with him. So he has his own sorts of troubles, and then you have Jason Miyares, who is the Attorney General. In fact, that's going to be the closest statewide race, but he's probably going to get dragged down because of how disastrous the Republican Party ticket is in Virginia. So let's look. Dig deeper in this poll. Okay, so yes, as I mentioned, Abigail Spanberger leading by 12 percentage points, 49 to 37. I mean, in December, they had her winning by 45 to 35. So once again, increased it by from 10 to 12. Okay. Could be 14 though as the final result, 14 to 15 points. Let's see what happens. Especially if we go to recession, I can expect 15 points. Um, so it says that Spamberger leads Earl Sears by 72 to 9 percentage points. I mean, 9% amongst African Americans, 44% each amongst whites. I mean, the fact that they're deadlocked amongst white voters, especially in a state like Virginia, is pretty surprising. Hispanics, 48 to 29. I kind of expect more Hispanic support to go towards Spamberger's way, especially with ICE rates and all that stuff. Especially when the economy sours, I expect like a lot of undecideds to shift towards Spamberger. So her lead's going to grow from here. Gonzalo Hashmi leading by 10 percentage points. I expect that. Once again, I expect that her to win by double digits, at least 10. Jay Jones holds 47% to 38. Yeah, I actually believe that's going to be between 5 to 10 percentage points. This is going to be the closest race, the Attorney General's race. Um, Glenn Youngkin, still the most popular Virginia Republican, but he's going to be, but since he's terminated, he leaves in January next year. Trump remains less popular amongst Virginia voters, 40% approve, 55% disapprove. So this is amongst Republicans, 84% approval rating, yeah, 93% disapproved, 66% disapprove. Now, if Spamberger gets this 66% of independents, I mean, yeah, it's 15-20% landslide incoming, and okay, now since when they asked which issue would influence their vote in upcoming elections, 28% identified as the cost of living, followed by reproductive rights and immigration. Yes, that is surprising. I did not think immigration was going to be on top of the list. I would expect education is. That's what I thought, especially with Trump is doing with public education, especially. But yeah, reproductive rights, I can understand that, because of Roe versus Wade overturned a couple of years ago. So that's a state by state issue, and if uh, if if they have a trifecta, they're probably going to codify the abortion rights into law in the state of Virginia, so it'll be safeguarded. Immigration, yeah, with all the ICE raids, so I can expect that a lot of the Hispanic voters shift towards Spamberger's way. So yeah, that was surprising. This poll, immigration 14%. So yeah, it says it right here. There's a better breakdown. Cost of living 29%, 14%. Immigration 14%. And this is a deeper dive for the poll. But it'd be interesting to look at the comments saying that some people some guys are predicting I'm not predicting, but they're working hard to get super majority. So this results hold. I do believe that the down ballot effect, when it comes to the state, when it comes to the House of Delegates, that the Virginia Democrats might get close to 60 seats if this holds true, because currently they hold a slim majority, 51 seats, and basically a lot of incoming representatives, they're not running this year, and they got out perfect timing and the replacements. I mean, they can't stop saying stupid crap. I mean, at this point, it's like what an embarrassment, and you know, and I'm actually more interested to see which counties might flip. Are we going to would counties in parts of Northern Virginia flip? It's the Hampton Roads. What about in the Richmond area? And heck, you know what? If it's like a 20 percentage point victory, then it'll be surprising to see if any counties in the western part of the state flip. I mean, that would be surprising. But let's take a look at some of the comments. Now, this is from Bill Bowling, who was the former Republican lieutenant governor of Virginia. Now, he said that this race could be worse than 2017 when Ed Gillespie lost by 9 percentage points. However, Gillespie was a better candidate than Sears, and Spamberger is a better candidate than Northam, so the margin could be much larger. That is so true, and that's what I was saying earlier. Because Gillespie, he was he was a more disciplined campaigner, and he actually had a platform. With some Sears, you can't tell me where a platform is. And you also got to remember one thing. Harris did win this state by 5 percentage points, by ramping up the margins here. But it'd be interesting to see if like Spanberger she gets in the 40s in counties like Fauquier County, as well as in increasing margin in Clark and basically throughout the other northern like counties in Northern Virginia. I like to see what she does in other some of the other counties in Richmond, such as Hanover, Spot. Like I believe that counties like Spotsylvania might flip blue. Maybe Caroline County might be close. So if Spotsylvania and Caroline County flip blue, I mean this race is pretty much over because everything else she kind of got locked. Stafford she'll increase her margin, but if it was 20-point victory, if Fauquier County and Clark County flip blue, dang, that then it's a blowout. It's a blowout. I mean, 20 percentage points. That's a blowout right there. I expect it could reverberate. I'm not sure where else where she would flip counties in Southwest Virginia, but she might cut the margin by a lot. But we have to wait and see. And I mean, I'm not sure if when there's a debate or anything like that, but it's very interesting to see how this race is playing out and the fact that like this is shaping up to be like the 1993 Virginia's governor's race when then Republican George Allen really won in a landslide. He won by 18 percentage points. So it is appearing to be that way on the Democratic side. So yeah, I mean, and what's fascinating is that one of the reasons why the Democrats are gaining ground is that the Democrats, they're campaigning in Virginia, they're campaigning everywhere, rural, suburban, and urban. Even the reddest of the red, they're campaigning everywhere. I mean, I saw them. I forgot which county they were campaigning. It's somewhere in Southwest Virginia, but I was surprised to see like how they were garnering support, and that they're running all candidates in even the reddest part of the district, the reddest district. So they have like a full slate, 100 candidates running in all, leaving no race uncontested. I mean, that's what Democrats need to do, especially if the establishment says they ain't going to do anything, then it's up to insurgent progressive Democrats to start an FDR and candidates that stand for the working class to fill in those shoes, because we can't rely on establishment Democrats to. I mean, I don't have no faith in the establishment Democrats at all. I think they're pretty disgraceful, in my opinion, because their ineptitude and their triangulation led to Trump. But that's a story for a different day. So my so just to sum it up, yeah, I expect Spanberger. She might win like at least 15 percentage points because if this thing holds true, I don't know how Winsome Sears turns it around. She needs to have some. She might have to make like once again. She might have to get a good campaign manager, or basically, uh, I, I mean, even with that, I think the damage is done. I mean, unless Spanberger somehow screws it up, but other than that, Winsome Sears, yeah, I mean, this race is kind of over. Yeah. So that's my prediction. Like, I expect Spanberger, she might win. Like, the poll says 12 percentage points now. I think Spanberger might win this race between 15 to 20%. Anyway, I like to hear your thoughts. If you live in Virginia, I like to hear your thoughts, what's going on the ground. And don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll try to have another video tomorrow, hopefully maybe about the Epstein files or something. But other than that, you guys stay safe and you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.